Who do you think's got the harder job? This is sort of a loaded question, and you're going to be biased about this, of course, in your answer. But who's got the harder job? A shuttle commander for a short sprint type of mission, if you will, or a station commander who has to oversee a giant complex for a half year in a multinational environment?
Well, I think I could probably better answer that question, although, you know, I haven't been the station commander, but having had all the training and having a fairly good understanding of what the job entails, they're clearly different. You know, the missions are different. You know, the shuttle is very, you know, the shuttle mission timeline is very scripted. You train practically everything you're going to do multiple times. You have a you know, larger support structure, I think, here at the Johnson Space Center when you're training. As a station crew member, in some ways the training's somewhat more autonomous in that you do a lot of it by yourself. It's in you know, various countries, different systems, and different you know, types of, you know, philosophies on design and the hardware. And then, you know, the other thing too is it's more of a, you know, we call it an expedition for a reason. It's you know, it's a long duration mission that involves, you know, being isolated from friends and family. The training also has somewhat of that aspect that you travel around to these different countries. So I think, you know, overall, I think probably the station flight presents more difficulty, but they're kind of really hard to compare because they are so much different.
I think, Rob, I think you almost answered the question in your question. You said the short sprint or the long duration, you know, expedition, and I think it, you know, just like a race, right? What's harder, the sprint or the, you know, the long run? And they're hard for their own reasons, and you know, they just have unique, different things about them that are both difficult.
Scott, before we press ahead with a few other types of personal questions about what lies ahead for you all, I'm intrigued always by Soyuz landings. I've been to the landing site many times myself. You've seen the landings on TV. Obviously, you've trained now for them. It's not wheel stop, Houston. It's thump and bang, and they call it the E-ticket. Any U.S. astronaut who has rode home on a Soyuz calls it the E-ticket, basically. What do you think that's going to be like for you?
Well, I think it's an E-ticket if you consider like crashing, you know, an E-ticket ride. I mean, you know, my understanding is it's, you know, it's kind of a violent re-entry and impact with the Earth that has really gotten some people's attention. I'm glad I've talked to a lot of people about it, so hopefully it won't be as big of a surprise, but you know, it can be, you know, higher G-forces. You know, the Soyuz spins up underneath the parachute. There's a equalization of pressure that, you know, causes the inside of the vehicle, depending on atmospheric conditions, to fill up with condensation. Can seem rather smoky to people, and then you know, when you hit the ground, it's hard. And then the vehicle, as you've seen, can roll and be in a weird orientation, and all that, you know, combined with the fact that your, you know, body's somewhat deconditioned and your vestibular system is affected, can make it for you know, quite a violent, surprising event.